You're listening to The Burning Truth. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, dude and dudettes. I am the host for The Burning Truth this week, as my broadcast partner, John Ballore, is unfortunately not with us this week. That is due to a massively busy schedule as such, and has been unable to fit in to join me on this week's episode. And you may have also noticed that this week's episode isn't actually live, and that is due to busy schedule from myself, so from both of us. And we decided that due to said busy schedule, that it would be, we would make, it was decided that due to the busy schedule and time constraint for both of us, that unfortunately due to us not being able to confer on a time when we could arrange for this week's episode, it was decided that I would take it upon myself to make sure that there was an episode out for this week. So, unfortunately, due to massively busy scheduling, Ballore cannot join us for this week. However, I'm able to fit some time and make sure that an episode is going out for this week. Now, just to point out that the next 2 weeks, I thought I'd just reveal to you, there will not be an actual official episode of The Burning Truth. Now, the reason being, it's going to be due to the holidays, the holiday season, it's the holiday times, and it's a time to have a bit of downtime, so we get to be with our families and friends. And however, just to make everyone aware, there will be there will be special messages going out on Christmas, during the happy holiday seasons, season time, especially on Christmas Day, and of course on New Year's Day as well. And just to point out, for them weeks, it will be only the messages for that week, and no episode on the Sundays of that week. So just to point out, this week's episode is going to be the full proper episode, as the next 2 weeks is more likely just going to be a bit of a special message to yourselves. I'm not going to digress into any more in regards to that, as hopefully you'll be entertained by the messages that we do send out. But anyway, I digress. I just thought to just mention all that and get it out the way. But anyway, for this, before we even start, I just thought I'd throw out this warning disclaimer, which is that the Burning Truth episodes may have language that may be unsuitable for younger listeners, and some listeners may find offensive due to some of the strong topics and strong opinions, as there may be certain strong language due to the nature of some of the topics that are discussed, but it will be kept to a minimum as much as possible. I just thought to put this warning disclaimer out just in case, as if certain topics can be very, very heated as such and can cause attitudes to flare up. But I just thought I'd just mention it out to get it out of the way and get it all sorted. And as such, I believe that because Ballore isn't here, as much as I'm not the best fan of this, but he is, but I just thought to keep it in line with the usual schedule, is that each and every, this episode may contain strobe lighting effects, even though we're actually only on the air. only audio. So let me just state, that's all in humour. But anyway, with that being said, now, we know that last week we had, last Sunday we did have TLC, Tables, Ladders and Chairs, or WWE Tables, Ladders and Chairs. Now, unfortunately, due to it coming up to the holiday season and scheduling being massively busy, myself and John Bloor have not been able to watch it as of yet, to my recollection from when I last spoke to JB, and I've not been able to watch it fully myself. So unfortunately, I will not be able to do a full review, however, in regards to the actual event as such. However, I do know the results that occurred, and I will be most likely going through them straight off the bat right now. But other than that, as such, I just thought to just point out, in regards to it, that this is due to busy schedule conflicts why it's not been watched. Hopefully, if we do remember before and we do have the next full episode for The Burning Truth, we might be able to discuss it potentially, but we'll have to wait and see if it is possible, or if too much time's passed in regards to it, or we could actually end up going back to it potentially. But it's interesting in regards to it. But anyway, prediction-wise, in regards to the prediction, it is noted down that it's, depending on the certain situation, it's going to be either a draw or I won, potentially. I'm going to say, personally, it's a draw, and the reason why I say it's a draw is because the match decider that makes it either a draw or a victory for myself is in regards to the Bray Wyatt versus The Miz match. Now, it's in regards, because it's not very clear on the WWE.com website and on other sources. I did state that if the championship isn't on the line, then I put down The Miz, but did state if it was on the line, it'd be Bray Wyatt. Now, because it's not actually highlighted as a championship match, I'm going to state that it's a draw. But I have got some feelings in regards to that situation, but I'll go quickly through the results as of right now. On the pre-show, we have Humberto Carrillo defeating Andrade, who had Zelina Vega with him in a singles match. Then for the main show, we had the first match off being the New Day, Big E and Kofi Kingston defeating the Revival, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, in a ladder match for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship. We also had Aleister Black defeating Buddy Murphy in singles competition. We also had the Viking Raiders against the OC. The Viking Raiders being Eric and Ivar, and the OC being Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, which was a tag team match for the WWE Raw Tag Team Championship. However, that match ended in a double countout. We also had King Corbin with Dolph Ziggler, Scott Dawson, and Dash Wilder defeating Roman Reigns in a Tables, Ladders, and Chairs match. I will say, did not see that one coming, neither did JB either. Next match was Bray Wyatt defeating The Miz. And this match I find very, very confusing. The reason why I find it confusing is because it's noted down that it's not for the WWE Championship. Now, what I don't get is, if this is a mistake, and it was, then it's been poorly advertised. If it isn't, I want to seriously ask the WWE. I understand what they're probably doing. They're probably saying, but The Fiend is the WWE Champion, not Bray Wyatt. You're insulting the fans' intelligence. Everyone knows that because why would Bray Wyatt, when he's not The Fiend, be carrying the WWE Universal Championship? Why? And why would The Fiend need his own WWE Championship if Bray Wyatt's got the WWE Universal Championship? Think about it. My point being is this. I'm okay with the results. Not a problem. My issue is the fact that this is not properly advertised as a WWE Championship match, if it was meant to be, and if it isn't, WWE have poorly lacked in their booking department, because why the hell are you not having one of your main championship defended on a pay-per-view? You know, the main championship bout. Oh, wait. Hang on. I've noticed something else. Where's the WWE Championship? Oh, wait, I forgot. Brock Lesnar's got it. So that's not defended. And now we've got Bray Wyatt, who is the WWE Universal Championship, in a match, not actually defending his championship belt. Now, I'm fine with the fact that he won. Why didn't you just put it on for the belt? So you've got an extra defense. It just doesn't make sense. Why would the Miz... It just doesn't make sense. It takes a little bit away from the WWE Universal Championship. It just racks my brain. That's all I'll say in regards to that. But anyway, next match is Bobby Lashley with Lana defeating Rusev in a tables match. And then in the main event, the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, defeating Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair in a tables, ladders and chairs match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Right. That I don't mind as much as the fact that the WWE Universal Championship isn't defended, or the WWE one. It's nice to see that the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship get to shine on the pay-per-view. It's nice. Now, supposedly there's been talk, there's a possibility that Kairi Sane may have suffered concussion. Supposedly that Charlotte Flair was upset with Kairi Sane due to something going wrong and may have slapped her. In regards to it, we don't know exactly the full details in regards to that. That will be something that will be looked into by ourselves, and possibly we may have an update in future in regards to it. But hopefully, if Kairi Sane has suffered a concussion, that she does have a speedy recovery. Well, basically, this match is supposedly absolutely brutal and barbaric. So, if there is any injuries, we hope nothing but the best and hope for all speedy recovers all round. Personally, I think it's not the worst pay-per-view. It's, some of the matches, and from what I've heard, that the main event was absolutely insanely chaotic. And in the fact that, if certain wrestlers are injured, there could be, there is a possibility of it, because they were throwing everything in, including the kitchen sink, to put this match over, which is a massive credit to all participants involved, and what a way to help put over the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Hopefully that should continue on going forward, and we do actually get more for the future. As for the actual pay-per-view itself, I will not be providing any ratings in this, as I've already stated that we've not got a full update in regards to it. Now, what I am going to discuss next is WWE, is in regards to Raw. Now, what hurts is the fact that Raw suffered this week. Massively. And supposedly that the Raw viewership hit its 2019 lowest despite the TLC fallout. And there's talk of... What makes it so bad is that this week's average for Raw was 2.053 million viewers, which is down from last week's 2.1 2.50 million viewers. And, it came in 4th, 6th and 7th place on the night in terms of 18 to 49 rating. Which, ouch. Especially with the fact that it's going up against, Monday Night Football, it's pre-show, the Sports Centre, and 3 episodes of Love and Hip Hop, which seems to be doing out the In Below Deck and Monday Night Countdown. The problem is, this is how bad it is. It's not good. It really isn't. It's the worst rating for the year, throughout the year for Raw. And especially on the night after, it's not usually the case, which is a massive, massive shame for Raw, especially as they've got, I believe we've even got hourly breakdowns that, this is in regards to the, I believe the first hour managed to break, I'm just looking at it now, in regards to it, which the ratings in regards to it on the first hour was 2.204 million, second hour 2.099 million, and the third hour 1.858 million. That third hour is making Raw suffer massively. Now, what makes it worse is they're saying it's fine. Take into account the fact that if they were 2 hours, that average would have been most likely 2.1 range, potentially. The third hour is making it suffer. Now, in regards to for Raw, year-to-date rankings, Raw's highest rating was for this year was 3.093 million, which was in July 22nd. Now, the lowest is this December 16th, 2.053 million. And that's average, by the way, in regards to the year-to-date rankings, what we just mentioned. And it's an absolute shocker. Now, in case if anybody is interested in finding out where I've acquired this information, check out WrestleZone, as it's being displayed on there, from the Fallout. And on top, it's a shame the fact that Raw is suffering that much of a drop. It should be doing potentially better than what they have been. Raw's been one of the mainstays for WWE for a long, long time. And as such, it's not looking good when you're coming off a pay-per-view and you're hitting the lowest ratings. But then again, at the same time, they did come up so late with WWE TLC, making matches as such. It's not great. But anyway, with all that being said as such, let's get over to SmackDown. I'm not discussing as we all keep saying, we're not going to be discussing any spoilers in regards to Raw and SmackDown. All I'm going to be talking about is viewership. Now, in regards to SmackDown, it seems to have increased from the previous week. Now, this week's episode potentially drew 2.415 million viewers, according to Showbuzz Daily. And it also drew a 0.7 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic, which is number 2 for the night. And the first hour did 2.493, and the second hour did 2.336 million, which is up from last Friday's, which I believe from last Friday's that was 2.339 million, with an average rate with average rate being 0.65 in the 18 to 49 demographic. Which a lot of people are thinking, but that's not much. Take into account, SmackDown is doing far better than Raw. Now, a lot of people are saying, but that's because they changed everything. They're now on Fox. It may be so, but it seems like SmackDown's got a bit of an edge over Raw, and it could be the fact that we could actually end up seeing SmackDown being changed over to the main show for WWE and getting more focus on it, especially with these ratings, especially with the fact that SmackDown, it goes to show how much of a massive difference when SmackDown is getting 2.415 million viewers, but Raw is averaging 2.05 million. Now, a lot of people are saying, "But what's that got to do with it?" That's a massive change. It's not a small amount. That's a lot of viewers that they are potentially not acquiring for Raw. So it could end up meaning that SmackDown becomes the main A show, and we'll hopefully have to see more in regards to it depending on certain situations, and we'll hopefully potentially see improvements for WWE in regards to the future. But fingers crossed, it does actually get better for all shows across the board. And I'm not going to be discussing NXT this week, I believe, because my counterpart is not with us as well, which is JB. As I think I wouldn't be able to do NXT justice without him. Now, let's continue on forward, shall we? Let's just mention some interesting news in regards to Jimmy Uso. Now, this is in regards to the DUI arrest that occurred in Florida. And I believe he opted for a jury trial. And recently he was found not guilty, which is amazing news. As such, in regards to this, it is absolutely amazing. It's great to see the fact that he hasn't been charged for the DUI. However, in regards to it, Jimmy Uso will still be having the speeding ticket remain on his record. And I believe at the same time, the Usos have yet to be drafted onto any WWE brand following the October WWE draft. Now, my only stand on in regards to this, yes, he has passed. However, I feel as though WWE needs to put a bit of a focus on Jimmy Uso and making sure he is all good physically and mentally. Make sure he's in a high place, because this could, if this is a case of where something's gone wrong, as such, hopefully they'll keep an eye on him and make sure everything's okay. If it isn't and it's not needed, then I just think just make sure he's okay. Just make sure he's okay. But it's good to see that he has been found not guilty in regards to the record. But hopefully the speeding ticket will not dampen on his record too much, and hopefully we get to see the Usos back on WWE television very, very soon. Now, in regards to the last piece of WWE information, it's in regards to a WWE legend. Now, everyone's probably thinking, which legend would this be in regards to? This would be a WWE legend who is officially retired. It is none other than the Icon, Sting. As he has mentioned that he is willing to come out of retirement, but it would be only for one match only. Now, a lot of people are saying, it's going to be the easiest one. And in regards to who Sting recently talked to, that would be Sports Illustrated. And he would only be willing to come out of retirement as long as it's on his terms, and if it was against a certain person at a certain event. Now, everyone's going to know what match he's going to be referring to. It's none other than the infamous one, the one that we never ever got, last time when he was there, which is the infamous Sting versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Now, if that does go for occur, I've got mixed feelings about it. Massively. Mixed because part of me is wondering if both Undertaker and Sting would be able to do the match. And if they're both physically ready, both ready for the demand in regards to this one match. Possibly, but we don't want to throw it in just for the sake of it and potentially end up having a certain situation that occurred when Goldberg vs. Taker happened. We don't want something like that happening. And it could end up being worse off, potentially, because we don't want any careers being, anyone being injured, worse matches, so both of them end up with a bad match against themselves for their last match ever, as such, and hope nothing but it's, it is just nostalgia, and it would be an absolute dream match if we're able to get it. And the reason why I'm not for it is because they're not in the prime, and I'd rather them to focus on their health and safety more than going for the dream match. Now, on the flip side, it's the dream match. It's a absolute dream match that I'm pretty sure every diehard wrestling fan wants to see. And it would be insane not to see it if we could get it. It would answer so many questions, but a lot of people are going to be saying, but Taker will win because he's WWE through and through. It would be an interesting match. Absolutely no doubt about it. One that would be for the ages, and one that would be absolutely out of this world. And it would be an absolute shame to anybody if they missed it, if there was a chance to see it, because it just would be. However, he's always thinking, Sting has stated, he thinks his career is done, but he always thinks of him versus Taker almost, match almost every year, but even he doesn't think it's going to happen. Now, if it does, I'll be happy, just as long as they don't damage their own career or themselves in the process. As long as they are both healthy and safe, I'm happy for that match to go forward, and I would be absolutely entertained by it by a massive long shot. Now, with that being the final WWE set of news, let's move on to Impact Wrestling. Now, a lot of people are going to be thinking, you don't normally talk about Impact Wrestling, so what's brought it on now? Which is the fact that Killer Kross has been released by Impact Wrestling. And some people are probably thinking, why is that interesting? Why? The reason why it's interesting in regards to it is the fact that when he has been released, well, it is mentioned across, it has been mentioned by Impact themselves, which is, they haven't been using for 7 months, and that the fact that Killer Kross has publicly requested his release and has spoken about issues he's had with management, such as in regards to being told to blade without blood testing being done, which if that is the case, then good Lord, not great Impact, because that is how we ended up with a certain situation that it's not good if you're not doing blood testing. And that's how a certain situation happened in regards to Nigel McGuinness, why his career ended so short. If that is the case, that you are not doing blood testing, then for shame on you, Impact Wrestling. It should be done, as it is massively, massively important to make sure to protect your workers and make sure everybody is clean, safe, and healthy. But I believe that, but going forward, hopefully, I highly doubt this will be the end of Killer Kross at all. Whose real name is Kevin Keesar. No, it's spelled Keesar. And as such, at first there was no speculation in regards to if he had a no complete clause in regards to it. But there has been talk that he doesn't have a no. There is no complete clause, as it's been reported by I believe Fightful.com. Well, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com, which was on Twitter, which it does state that Fightful Select was able to confirm that Killer Kross does not have a no complete clause as it relates to his exit. Interesting to say, and the fact that also Killer Kross, and it should be interesting to see where he goes from here, as I believe that Killer Kross has released a video on social media teasing possible opponents in New Japan Wrestling, Ring of Honor, WWE, NXT, and All Elite Wrestling, which basically means he's going to be a new hot agent from Impact Wrestling. A lot of people are going to be just thinking, where's he going to go? Where's he going to go? And a lot of people are going to most likely possibly think he's going to sign with WWE, especially with the fact that his girlfriend, Scarlett Bordeaux, has recently signed with WWE. As in regards to where he goes next, we will have to wait and see. But hopefully, as soon as we do actually have an update in regards to what Killer Kross is up to next, we'll hopefully have it for you in the future. And that is it, and that's going to be a wrap up for this week's episode of The Burning Truth. I have to say thank you very much for checking this episode out. I'm absolutely eternally grateful the fact that you've come out to listen, and I'm now going to get on to the plugs. So please check out I want to give out some love to the following, which is none other than UKWA, also known as UK Wrestling Alliance. If you're after for some amazing photography to be done, I recommend you all to check out Tony Knox, Jessica Servo Photography, and K-Swift Photography. All amazing people, all amazing company photography businesses, amazing people, and are absolutely amazing. In case anybody wants to learn how to wrestle, I recommend you all check out Manchester Pro Wrestling Academy, as beginner classes are on Monday, £10 per class, 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. They do actually have other classes and do actually offer certain other classes, one-on-one classes as such, but you'll have to check out on their social media and possibly get in touch with them. As in regards to locations, please check out on their social media, especially their Facebook page, for all your custom championship belts and other requirements. We recommend you check out JFX3D on social media, and we of course highly recommend you to check out the following charities, of course, which is none other than Mind, Changes for Health and Wellbeing. Of course, we also recommend you check out Changes Recovery Radio, Messy for Mine, Donna Louise, and of course Cancer Research UK. All great charities, absolutely to a massive, massive cause. Please check out their websites and check out all the information you can find on there, because who knows, the information that you do seek on there could actually end up helping someone, and you could actually end up changing someone's life with said information. You never know. We of course also recommend you check out the lighter side of wrestling, which is by checking out Botchamania, WrestleCrap, and of course OSW. And I will state the following, which is for Botchamania, you're welcome Matthew. For WrestleCrap, you're welcome RD Reynolds. And of course for OSW Review, you're welcome anytime. OSW Review lads, you're knocking out the park. We also recommend you check out Pass or Pull Radio show, hosted by none other than Magic Mark Adams, as they talk all things geeky, nerdy, and potentially DC to Marvel. So if you have a geeky, you want to hear your most geekiest news, please check them out. We of course also share some, broadcast / podcast love, as we recommend you check out We the Independents with their interviews. We also recommend you check out Train Pop Culture, absolutely amazing. And we of course recommend you check out Think Wrestling, as Do I need to say any more in regards to it? They do great interviews and always bring out great content. Now, for anything for party needs, we also recommend you check out Fabaloony, which their website is www.fabaloony.co.uk, where it's party time all the time. And I believe they offer party packages, soft play and bouncy castle, magic shows, mini discos, face painting and glitter art, stilt walking, balloon modelling, balloon decorating, and fire and illusion shows. And it's all linked with Equity. And for any more information in regards to Equity, we recommend you check out their website as well. We also recommend you check out Fabaloony's social media, of course, and the website. They've got loads of details on there as such. We also recommend you check out Kayfabe Music UK, especially for the fact that they do the actual intro for The Burning Truth, and the actual full song for The Burning Truth will be played at the end of every episode. Amazing work. I've actually even had some custom-made music made by them for myself. They know how to cater to custom-made music. They are absolutely amazing. Just take into account that if you are interested in some of their music, check out their original track, which is only for £50, and for any custom-made needs, £60. But you may have to wait. You may have to wait quite a bit of time because they do actually have a long list. But it is so worth the wait. For any wrestling needs, something like, for all British wrestling as such, I highly recommend you check out Turnbuckle TV, as they have 30 plus wrestling companies on there, 30 plus, and it's only for £3.99 a week. Yes, I know we keep plugging them every week, and if anybody is interested in providing some support for UKDWA, you can actually provide support to us by literally signing up to Turnbuckle TV, literally at www.turnbuckletv.com/UKDWA, or instead of UKDWA, insert company name, and hopefully signing up, via through the said company that you want to provide support for, as when you do actually sign up via through the company links, it does actually help. It does actually help progress your wrestling company and provide support for them in a massive, massive way. As always, we always recommend you check out your local wrestling shows. Just a case in point: United Wrestling, Pro Wrestling for You, Slam Wrestling, Academy Pro Wrestling, Future Championship Wrestling, and Fusion Pro Wrestling, The Barracks Wrestling, and many, many others. I digress. I could go on for days and days and days for how many companies there are. But just in case I haven't mentioned them, if you want another place to check out all your local wrestling shows, and of course find out where your actual local wrestling show, in case you don't know, there's an actual app where you can actually use it from where you are and locate the closest local wrestling by checking out Babyface Wrestling UK. They actually have some interesting stuff on there, blogs. You can also follow your favourite wrestlers and follow your favourite companies, which we highly recommend. I would massively appreciate if any of you were able to follow myself, Matt Burns. I'm actually on there, and of course I'd be ever so grateful if you're able to follow UKDWA on there as well. And of course, I also recommend you check out the Burning Truth website, which is www.theburningtruthuk.com. You know what's on there, and as such, I always recommend everybody to, that the links page. If you are on the links page, please be made aware that any of the links that are on there, we cannot be held responsible, as we do not have any control of any external websites. And of course, we are on social media. You know where to find us on social media. We do actually mention it multiple times. We are on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Twitter handles got a bit of a different name, in case if anyone wants to find us. The name on Twitter, which is WRESLING4THWALL. And of course, we have some old episodes on Spotify as well. And that's going to be a wrap-up for this week. It's very interesting. I will state, thank you very much for checking us out this week. I will always recommend you all to check out your local wrestling shows, as always. But before I sign off, I just thought I'd recommend everyone to please stay well, stay safe, especially over the, yes, it is the holiday seasons, but one thing I will state is, when I say look after yourself, I don't just mean just look after yourself. I mean, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, please look after yourself physically and also mentally. And if you are having a bit of a bad time, do not worry. It is okay to be not okay. It is okay. And of course, if you are not feeling so good, it is also okay to ask for help, as asking for help is not a weakness, and you could very, very well find out that you are much more loved than you ever realised, and you could actually find some help, be it either from friends, family, or even a complete stranger who could actually end up helping you, and you never know. But in regards to that, please stay well, stay safe, and I will hopefully catch you on the next episode of The Burning Truth, and hopefully I'll catch you on the holiday messages, be it on Christmas Day and also on New Year's Day of such. Until then, stay well, stay safe, and we will catch you on the next episode during the holiday messages, and of course in 2020. Until then, stay safe. Catch you laters.